No one talks about it because it doesn't scream. It doesn't crash like failure. It doesn't burn like heartbreak. It whispers. It waits. It wastes you one quiet, unnoticeable day at a time. Laziness is not the absence of energy. It's the absence of purpose. It's a mind full of potential rotting in indecision. It's brilliance buried under comfort. You weren't born to coast. You weren't designed to drift. You were made to move, to push, to build, to break limits and become fire in human form. But laziness is decay in disguise. It wears the mask of rest, but offers no recovery. It pretends to be peace, but delivers only paralysis. It convinces you that tomorrow is guaranteed, that opportunities wait, that greatness can be scheduled. But listen to me. Time doesn't wait. Life doesn't pause. And purpose sure as hell doesn't tolerate hesitation. Every minute you delay is a minute you're getting weaker. Not physically, spiritually. Your belief shrinks, your standards soften, and your identity fades. Because laziness doesn't kill with violence. It kills with softness, with warm excuses, with comfortable distractions, until you look back at your life and realize you slept through your potential. There is no neutral. Every moment you're either building or breaking, rising or rotting. You either train your mind or the world trains it for you. You either command your energy or waste it chasing dopamine hits. Success is not about working harder. It's about waking up, about realizing that discipline isn't a restriction, it's freedom. Structure isn't control, it's direction. And action isn't a chore, it's the only language the universe listens to. So get this straight. If you don't fight for your focus, you will lose it. To algorithms, to opinions, to your own resistance. Laziness will make you believe you're tired. But you're not tired. You're uninspired. You're overfed with noise and starving for purpose. Get clear. Get ruthless. Eliminate anything that dulls your edge. Because clarity is fuel. And vision is war paint. You weren't meant to live on the sidelines of your own life. You weren't meant to scroll, repeat, sleep, exist. You were meant to challenge reality, to ask better questions, to take the chaos in your head and turn it into something the world can't ignore. And if you don't, if you wait, if you numb yourself, if you coast, you die. Not in body, but in brilliance, in momentum, in meaning. You become a ghost long before your heart stops beating. You want to feel alive? Then move like it. Think like it. Act like it. Laziness will always offer you the easy route. But nothing worth holding ever came from ease. Comfort kills courage. And the more you surrender to it, the more you'll forget what you're capable of. You weren't made to get by. You were made to get up. To rise when no one believes. To chase when no one watches. To work like the world depends on it, because your world does. So stop asking for motivation. Start giving yourself orders. You don't need to feel like it. You need to finish it. You don't need the perfect time. You need a decision. The man who acts without hesitation wins. Not because he's lucky, because he's dangerous. Because he's tired of the slow death. Because he's seen what wasting time turns you into, and he refuses to go out like that. You want change? Start with your mindset, because your life will never outgrow the quality of your thoughts. You can't build a castle on the blueprint of a prison, and you sure as hell can't chase legacy with the thinking of a slave to comfort. Mindset isn't just thinking positive. It's choosing power over pity. It's declaring war on victimhood. It's waking up and deciding, no matter what, I will not fold. Because most people break under pressure. But pressure isn't punishment. It's proof. Proof that there's something in you worth testing, worth forging. When your mind shifts, your world follows. But not until. No new strategy, no new habit, no new plan will matter until your mind becomes non-negotiable. That's why laziness is lethal, because it weakens the root. And belief is everything. Not hope, not wish. Belief in yielding, unshakable, unreasonable, because the world doesn't reward what you almost believe. It rewards what you embody, what you fight for even when there's no applause, what you practice in the dark until it screams in the light. Your beliefs are the architects of your destiny. So what are you building? A future of what ifs and maybe one days, or a foundation of certainty laid brick by brutal brick with discipline and defiance? Get this, clarity isn't found in stillness. It's found in movement, in motion, in decision. You will never feel ready. And waiting to be ready is just another form of laziness in disguise. Clarity comes when you act, even when you're afraid, even when you don't know all the steps, even when your hands are shaking. Because forward is the only honest direction. You want vision? Then stop looking at what is and start seeing what could be. Vision isn't passive, it's aggressive. It tears through doubt. It offends mediocrity. It walks into a room full of comfort and sets the whole damn thing on fire. Vision sees the invisible, believes the impossible, and moves like the inevitable. You want to know why most people lose? Because they forget why they started. They lose track of the mission. They trade long-term purpose for short-term pleasure. But not you. Not anymore. Your life has weight. It has depth. It was not made to be decorative. It was made to be definitive. Purpose isn't about what you like. It's about what you're willing to bleed for. What you're willing to build when no one believes. What you're willing to become to earn the life you know is yours. Your purpose is buried beneath layers of distraction, noise, and expectation. Strip it away. Peel back the convenience. Rip apart the narratives they gave you. And listen deeply, relentlessly, because you already know. You always know. But knowing is not enough. The world doesn't change for those who know. It changes for those who move, who build, who commit. Laziness will rob you of that commitment. It will whisper, it's okay to wait. It will lie, there's always time. But purpose doesn't wait. It punishes hesitation. So, if you hear the calling, answer. If you see the vision, chase. If you feel the fire, feed it. Because every second you stall, the voice in your head gets quieter, and the noise of the world gets louder. You weren't made for that noise. You were made for signal, for precision, for fire. And if you don't act soon, that fire will go cold. Discipline is freedom. Don't confuse it. Discipline is not restriction. It is rebellion against weakness, against distraction, against every excuse that tries to steal your future. When you train your body, your will gets stronger. When you train your mind, your identity gets sharper. And when you train your discipline, your destiny becomes inevitable. Wake up before you feel like it. Move before the doubt sets in. Show up after motivation dies. That's discipline. That's what separates fire from flicker. Most people wait for the feeling. Winners move without it. Because action doesn't follow emotion. Emotion follows action. And when you act again and again and again, you build momentum. And momentum is the closest thing to magic this world allows. Don't sit there thinking, move. Don't wait for the right day. Make today right. Because every second you hesitate is a second someone else becomes what you were too lazy to become. And don't you dare forget this. Gratitude is not weakness. Gratitude is power. When you can stare chaos in the face and still say, thank you, you've become unstoppable. Gratitude isn't passive. It's a sharpened lens. It sees through noise. It recalibrates vision. It reminds you, you're still breathing. You're still becoming. You're still here, which means game on. Flexibility is not surrender. It's strategy. When the world shifts, shift smarter. Don't cling to the path. Cling to the mission. The plan can bend. The fire cannot. Resilience is when the plan dies, but the purpose doesn't. It's when they count you out and you don't even flinch. It's when you fall in silence, rebuild in darkness, and return with fire in your eyes. You want to be dangerous? Get used to losing. Get used to failing. Get used to doubt, setbacks, betrayal, because every scar is a sword. Every loss is leverage. And every time they thought you were done, they just handed you another chapter for your legend. You don't become unbreakable by avoiding pain. You become unbreakable by absorbing it, learning from it, and never letting it define you. Learning is the ultimate rebellion. Because every time you grow, you rewrite your limits. And when you refuse to stop learning, you become unpredictable, and that makes you unstoppable. Read, fail, listen, observe. Forget what you were told. Rebuild what you now believe. Challenge what you think is true. Because the man who questions deeply evolves quickly. And evolution is not a luxury, it's a necessity. So here it is. The moment, the line, the edge of everything you've been. You either step back into safety or step forward into power, into the unknown, into the fighter. You either become the product of your excuses or the proof that you can burn through them. You either choose the slow death of laziness or the relentless, unstoppable, undeniable rise of purpose. You were born for impact. You were born for vision. You were born to set fires where others settle for sparks. So no more waiting, no more wishing, no more wasting. Laziness is death. And today, you rise.